You want to watch somebody paint that's never painted before? Well, then, this is the video for you. All right, I figured something I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. So this rear differential here, you look real close, focus, it's pointing up, and it needs to come down about 5 degrees, maybe a little more. It'll run clean, but also this is leaf sprung, and even though I have an anti-wrap leaf here that really helps, I still would like to have it proper so when it does come up, it can't, exceed what it's supposed to. So I need to rotate that down. And the other thing is it'll give you a little more drive shaft clearance between that shaft and that support bar for the spare tire right there. Two ways to do this. You can shim it. I probably have shims. But then you got to take the centering pin out of a leaf pack and put it through the shim. And if you don't do that, then boy, you're just asking for a shim to be spitting out in the middle of the trail, and then you'll be trying to fix that in the dirt on a trail. It sucks. How do I know? Seen it, been there, done that. And then the messy way, what I call it, do it right and do it once, is cut that one off and clean it all up. Be a big mess. And then there you go. New ones. Try it. Put those on, set it up, tack them in place. It's a process. So I think what I can do now that I have these supports, basically the rear frame is solid now, I can jack it up here, put some jack stands down. Nice thing is it's a spring over axle, so I can just drop the axle out of there. And then start cutting. Okay, here's the setup. The axle is totally detached. It really only took me about 15 minutes to do that. It comes out super easy. And I got it on the jack stands. Now they have those frame supports. I'm feeling really good about doing that. And then I took the tire off so I could drop it down and get access. And then I got the plasma torch. And yeah. And the brake lines are still attached, so I gotta be careful not to, I blocked it up here so it wouldn't overstretch that. But I'm thinking I probably should have left the U-bolt, one U-bolt on the other side, but loose so it could move. Because this whole thing just rotated down, and I think it's going to be a struggle to get it back up there. But that's for another moment in time. Anyways, see if we can get this thing cut off. And then the part of clean up. Yeah. All right, I got technical difficulty. Gotta work it out. All right, technical. This is supposed to look like, oops, just dropped it. This. Yeah, it's a little fried. And then that hole is supposed to look like that, fried. And then, so the ring is not supposed to have a split in it. It's supposed to be nice and clean like that one. So, brand new parts. Get rid of the junk. Let's see if we had better luck this time. Definitely explain why it didn't want to work. It was literally fried. All right. Now it's nothing but a big old globule mess. Let's see how much I can blast off of that. Alright, just let that cool off and the rest of this for the grinder. Time to cut the other side. No. There's another mess to clean up. But see those brackets? Yeah, there's some old stuff I've never, they just got to come off too. See what I'm looking at is just like this thing, and the metal just melts and flows like really liquid mud, and so we can knock those big chunks off. I still have more big chunks to knock off, but I got the bulk off of here. That side's all ground down, so I'm just going to spend some time with the grinder. And this stuff, it's not actually attached, it's only attached right here. So once I get this down, it just falls off because it's not welded on. It's just rammed like a pool of hot molten metal. So anyways, grinder time. Not fun, but about 5 minutes, I think. Official grind time, 6 minutes. Not completely done. I got a little piece up here, but I wasn't in the right angle, but we'll clean it up. Okay, here's the setup. I worked on the other side. It's working great on this side. So the problem is that the pinion kept, fall. In fact, slip yoke fell out. So I'm supporting the pinion with the strap. Not so much anymore because this side has a load on it. But yeah, this whole ratchet strap thing really helped with the pinion. And then I had to get this jack out, and of course I keep this for safety in case something falls. And then down here I get the perch and I clamp it on so that it's in the centering pin, and then I can move this axle back and forth, and then I just carefully land it with the jack. The key word is carefully, but man, you know how these hydraulic jacks are. There it goes. Going down, going down, going down. And I don't want all the weight on it because I need to adjust. Yeah, I gotta put that guy right about there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And there it is. Still on a jack stand, but it's got weight on here. Centering pin's in, and it's down. Get all the clamps you can buy. All kinds of them, not one kind. All the kinds. All right, so now all I got to do is set the gap between the location side to side, which I measured, it was 8 inches, to the brake caliper mount. And, you know, hammer, whatever. And then set the pinion angle after I put the drive shaft back together. I can do that. Before I do anything, man, I'm gonna sweep because there's metal everywhere. And I did not grind the spot where I cut these off because I really didn't want to be under that Jeep the way it was set. So now I got it on wheels and I get the whole axle mounted. Then I can get under there and it'll be safe to work on. A lot safer anyways. And so let me get some cleanup going here. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the axle sitting on the spring perches, no longer on jack stands. But I have another issue, and there's always issues. So you can see here, as I take the pinion down, this rotates up, and I have my brake lines hitting into the mount. So what I need to do is push the pinion back up to rotate this down, and the best fix is to cut this off, move it out of the way, set the pinion angle, tack it, and then re-weld this somewhere down here out of the way. And that's going to be tomorrow's task because I'm tired. My body has done all it can do. It's out. It's pitch dark outside, which is great because the weather's really nice right now, and you know, start heating up again. So there's always something. Always. So see you tomorrow. Maybe not in the morning, but sometime. All right, well, a new day. Actually, I think it's afternoon already. I had a lazy morning. Went out to breakfast and hung out, had coffee, socialized. But back at it. To get back at it, I have to deal with this rear axle. And I cut those little tabs off that are holding the brake lines that were getting in the way of me rotating the pinion up. Used a combination of my battery-powered angle grinder, and that thing I wanted to just take off and hit the brake line. So I control as best I can to get halfway through the clip, and then from the top down, I use a pneumatic body saw. Tons of control, no problem. So that fixed it. But at this point, I managed to get, I've got the axle centered properly on the leaf springs. It's like within 1/16 of an inch one way or the other. And then I've been working on this thing. I think you can see that. Yeah. So, what do I got here? This is 4.3. And that's about 1.8, 1.9. So that was 4.9. So this is just less than 3 degrees low. The pinion is 3 degrees low from perfect. Perfect, everything have to come up. But I set it 3 degrees low because this pinion will want to push up under load. And what I wanted to do, now it'll push up and it's got to go through a little 2.5 to 3 degrees to get to 0, which would be perfect. And then if it really wraps hard, and it might go 3 or 4 degrees above 0, but at least I'm not starting at like 4 or 5 degrees above 0, which then it gets really wonky. So this is how I prefer to set up my drive line with the CV drive up on the top. With the leaf spring, because the leaf springs, you do have a bit of axle wrap, and this is how you want to control your axle wrap. So this is at the point where I needed to tack on these spring perches and then fully weld them. Worked. We can take the other tire off, weld the outside, because I got the inside welds under there. And then let it cool and put a little paint on it for rust. I'm done with this part. Brake light tabs are on. I've officially killed that one. Ugh. All right. It's too hot to grind that other thing that I left there. Leave it for another day. It ain't hurt nothing. All right. I grew a pair and I manned up, and I went ahead and I ground the crud off of the axle right there. I just sat there and made a big old mess. And you see all those little, I'm going to show you. Here. Those little weird marks here on the floor, all little streaks. Yeah, that is dog drool mixed with metal shavings. Look at her. You should be ashamed. I mean, good Lord. Yeah. She was right here the whole time I was grinding. That is a crazy dog. I didn't grind all of it, you know my channel, 90%. The stuff that was on the bottom of the tube, it was, the grinder and the sparks were too close to my face for my own comfort. So to do that, I need to put this on my scissor lift where I can actually get my body and my face away, but still grind it safely. It wasn't worth it. It's only like I got 90% of it off. You know my channel. Anyway, so I finally got all my boxes out of my wife's car. And I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not going to film. But I'll update you. So these are the replacement relays for the LED light conversion. Here's the factory one. These are, they call them thermal, whatever, but they're for regular incandescent bulbs. So I'll try that, and then when I figure it out, if it works or not, I'll show you how bad it is or how much better it is. The other thing I'm going to do, you're going to sit there and watch me put wire loom on. Yeah, I got that. And foam. Yep, more foam. That was for the ceiling up here that's missing. So I'm not going to film me putting foam on and wrapping up the wires and plugging that thing in, but I will update as we go. And I'll film stuff that's a little more interesting. So be right back with status. Oh yeah, that last shot, I didn't realize I was still bleeding over here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, when I was grinding that off, I had a disc explode in my face. But I was wearing my new safety glasses, so my eyes are fine. Glad I was wearing it. I got like 4 cuts on here. Yeah, it would take my eye out. I'd have to stop working and go to an eye doctor. Heal up. That would suck. So wear your safety glasses. Those darn grinders are they're like the devil. So today I'm making a new tool to deal with a problem I had the other day. And that's the thing about this plasma table, you can make all kinds of stuff. So just rock and roll here. And it makes it that fast. Let me go show you what it's for. All right, let me show you what I made that for. Hold on, I got a little ahead of myself here. So, my grinder, I'm doing something and paid price for it. What I've been doing, I would take one of these discs and I would stack it on this thing because it's really flexible. And I would stack it on there, and then it would give me a nice backer so I could push a bit. Well, the other day when I said it cut my face, yeah, this thing exploded into 2 pieces. One piece hit me in the face, hit the wall, landed in the Jeep, and the other one, another 20 feet over here. After an hour, like I found both halves, and the circle was just stuck underneath the arbor nut. So he says, now I tried using that disc without the backer, and I've had these discs without the backer. Eventually they just explode out the metal. And you know, these things are like 3,000 RPMs or somewhere around there. It's like ridiculously fast. So I made a backer plate out of this is 16 gauge. 16 gauge, this is rigid. It won't flex it for 4.5 inches. So that's just gonna go like that as a backer plate. And it goes right on here like it's supposed to, because I fit a nice, perfect hole on it. Now I can grind, put a little pressure as much as I want. And even this backer plate, steel, and press hard. There we go. And even if the sanding disc fails, nice thing is I got this plate back there so it'll fail and go, hopefully not at me. They definitely don't hurt as much as a cutoff wheel exploding on you. It does make it a little heavier, but I might try to play with like a lighter gauge too. But now I have a backup plate that I know it won't, not going to explode on me. It's made out of steel and not going anywhere. I don't recommend this. This is how I do it. So it's not a tutorial. All right. Okay, one more thing I'm doing. Since, recall when I removed the rear axle and to cut off the old spring purchase and weld new ones on and all that, the slip yoke on my brand new out of drive shaft fell off. And now I put that back on and I was just like looking down, and there is an orientation for that. And otherwise it won't be balanced. And what you want is this part here that is actually welded to the pipe, and then you come down the other end and here's the slip yoke, and then this part that is not the U-joint to be in the same plane. Boom. I'll show you a smaller one. There it is. This is correctly done. See, that's slip yoke up this way, and then the part welded on that way. And boom, boom. That's where you want it. So I was just guessing to make sure, but I pulled it out in order to, figure it out. And if you look down there, yeah, that looks pretty good. I like it. But if you're really paranoid, you see I got these up on blocks and angle finder. So 0.45 on this side. I want to make sure that you don't, go that angle, because that'll give the angle the, what you want is this. You want this angle, not that angle. So you got to not that way, that way. So that's 0.45. And then this side, of course, there's tape on here. That one's saying it's 0 right now. There it is. I'm pressing on it. So the tape's interfering, but I'm feeling pretty good. I think I got the best results from here. Yeah, 0.7. So I think, it's only off by, a few tenths of a degree, which I think is just fine. And yeah, that's like almost 15.15, something like that. So I feel pretty good about that I got it on straight. Because if it was off by one spline, it'd be off. You should be able to visually notice it. But this is just a nice, good way to check if you have an angle finder. And here's the other thing. I'm not sure how serious that yoke orientation is, but I could be out 180 degrees. So if I'm starting to feel some vibration, I got to pull that slip yoke off and rotate it 180 degrees and put it back on. So anyways, that's just a bit of technical stuff for you. Something I figured out. And I need to pull that drive shaft anyways, because I have this oil slick right there, and it's coming right out of the center here. So that's telling me that that seal is no bueno. Now, I've taken a seal off. I should be able to get it off. We're going to give it a shot. They need to order a new seal. I go to, I think it's called torqueking.com. They got all the stuff. They got really good information, technical stuff, just really good technical descriptions about stuff. So, yeah, that's who I'm recommended. Not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I sponsor myself. My Capital One, my credit card. That's the one that sponsors me. All right. So I got to get back there, pull that yoke off, and see what's going on with that seal. But other than that, that's my update for now. Well, a new day, and I was cleaning up the shop yesterday, taking the trash out, because I got all this debris off of the Jeep, and I thought, all right, I had some old carpeting, and then I had the old fender flares I took off here, and they'd been cut and trimmed, and I was going to throw them away, and I thought, because I self-haul, I just throw it in my truck and drive to the dump. And then all of a sudden I went, well, let me see what it looks like if I actually put it on. And that's an interesting concept. So, kind of like it. It's definitely different to have a fender flare on a flatbed. Here we go. Let me just do that. If you remember, I had these little pieces right here. And I don't know, it just didn't, it was a good concept, but just didn't go far enough. So anyways, now with this bigger arch right here, I can put those flares on if I want to, or I can just leave them off and leave that arch just like that. It just gave me another good idea too. I have a tube bender. I could do maybe a tube flare. Comes out like this too. All right, why am I standing here with a paint gun and a cardboard box? I'm washing cardboard boxes. Yeah. Just water in here. You know, these paint guns are good for painting boxes or just washing the dust off of them. There, nice and clean. Actually, if you turn around, yeah, the cab's ready for paint. And that's what I'm working on. So I am a big advocate of the University of Education for Learning and YouTube. So I bought the spray. This is like a low buck. This is the cheapest sprayer out there, about 150 bucks. You know, it's all there. It does the things. Anyways, I watched a guy, Kevin, on Paint Education. Real popular. I've seen him on Motor Trend. He's really enthusiastic, and he does all these training classes online and in person how to paint. And so I watched his video on just getting started. And 3 easy steps to setting up your paint gun. Really easy. I mean, the guy just simplified it. I go, oh, that's all I got to do. So I came out here to check it out, and yeah, it does exactly what he said. You want to watch somebody paint that's never painted before? Oh man, this is the video for you. I practiced with water, dried it off. This is scary stuff. But if you don't try, you won't learn. And you know what my expectations are? Runs, orange peel. I'm just trying to get paint on things so it won't rust and look too terrible. I even have weld splatter I even take up on this. So I'm not looking for a great paint job, but I'm just looking for an averagely bad one that the paint stays on. And let me tell you, when I tried to practice this, especially the roof, terrible. All these pipes in the way, the frames in the way. Well, I didn't cover that in my class. I think I should have took a few more classes. Anyways, hold on. I gotta, finish PPE and stuff like that, and I'll be over here and I'm gonna start spraying some paint. There'll be paint everywhere. There goes nothing. Leaking a little. I got one drip. It's on the roof. All right, while I'm waiting for coat 1 of 2 to dry, I said, well, let's clean up this sprayer. And I tried paint thinner first. No. Acetone. Look, it just melted it here. The paint thinner just was this big gooey mess with clear paint thinner on top of it. This brush was just jammed with paint, all gooey, like gum, like melty gum. Ah, time for a round 2. Okay, we are at the end of this journey. This paint gun right here, well, if you look at it, it's clean now, huh? Even on the inside the cup, clean, no problems. That acetone made a difference. Cleaned up real easy. I disassembled the tip. There's this thing in here, and I cleaned the insides out really good. But before I did, I put acetone in here, hooked it up, sprayed, and it just cleaned it out really good. And then I did a little more touch up with it. But so I have one complaint with this gun, and that is this. Yeah, it leaks. And you know, there's fluid in here up to here, so when you go around it just kept coming out. Because I wasn't really getting runs on the paint, but I got this here, and then when I moved things over, it went. So let's go up here now. Ooh. This is also desert sand dune. That was kind of the idea on that color. And anyways, I'm tired. And I think this is the end of this episode. Yeah, it is. So next episode, you might actually get to see this thing finished, because really all I got to do is put some truck bed liner on this, and all it'll do is just look cleaner than raw steel. Yeah, so a little spray paint here and there, touch up. No, I haven't painted the doors yet. Yuck. We'll address that. We'll address that in the next episode, and then I think we're getting really close to done on this thing. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a great time watching me learn how to not spray paint. That was today's lesson. Don't do it this way. And what really threw me off was all these bars. Yeah. So until next time, I'm out of here.